Hello, Lupus Warriors. Welcome to Lupus Speaks podcast. I'm your host, Shedrica Holmes, and I'm here to empower you on your journey with lupus. We'll explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and the latest in lupus research. So grab your headphones and let's dive in. Hello, Warriors. Welcome back to Lupus Speaks podcast, and I'm your host, Shedrica Holmes. So today I'm going to talk to you about overcoming challenges living with lupus. And in today's episode, I'm going to share my own journey and experience with this illness. So this is going to be a deeply personal episode, but I want you to stay tuned, grab you some coffee, some tea, or some headphones, and listen. Anything that I share on this show is from my experiences and my experiences only. If you are looking to make any lifestyle changes, I recommend you speaking to your doctor first. And I hope that within this episode, it gives you some insight, some inspiration, and some empowerment to keep pushing forward. So, again, my name is Shedrica Holmes. I have been living with lupus for 15 years. As of now, as of this week, it's been 15 years. October the 15th, 2008. So, living with lupus has been a challenging and yet transformative experience for me. It all started when my hair was falling out, my body was aching, my skin was itching, and I had extreme weight loss from a 130 to a 85 pounds, like a drastic change. And I had no idea what was going on with me. I just remember feeling overwhelmed, sick, and confused about all the symptoms that seemed to appear out of nowhere. And after receiving my diagnosis, which I have a diagnosis story previous episodes, so you can go back and listen to those because I don't want to go back into the diagnosis part, but I just want to run over the things that I experienced prior to my diagnosis. Okay, so those were some of the things that I was experiencing in the beginning. Now that I've adjusted to living with lupus, I will say it still catch me off guard. I ain't gonna lie. It still has its moments where I'm like, what the is this? Like, I ain't never, and then I go through moments where I am in remission. So when I do go into a flare and it comes back around, I'm still shooketh. Okay? I'm shooketh at the fact that I'm limited in my abilities and my capabilities of the things that I was comfortable with doing, I cannot do. So I'm going to let that sit. Because I do get angry when I am in a position where I am not able to do the things that I am accustomed of doing, or that I know that I can do with ease. But when I'm in a lupus flare, that's not easy. I'm in excruciating pain and I cannot think straight because I'm hurting so bad. I am just thankful for the people that are in my life that support me, that encourage me, that actually physically help me on a day-to-day when I'm in a flare. Because without their support, I would be fighting this battle alone. In a sense of the physical aspect, I have you guys, I have this lupus community. But sometimes when you are hurting and you are in pain, that is not the first thoughts. Let me reach out to the support system within the community so that I can stay mentally strong. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I am going through a lupus flare, I don't want to engage with the community because the community going what I'm going through, And so sometimes that cannot feel so helpful when I'm seeing another person hurt just as much as I am, But I found ways to let it empower me and let my experience and the things that I've had challenges with help other people. So maybe I've already overcome, a medication that I've already tried, or maybe I've already overcome or had a season where my pregnancy went well, and another lupus warrior is also pregnant and doesn't know what to do. So I've let that mindset go of it's not helping me to what can I do to help? And that is the motivation between where I am now versus 3 years ago, and the mindset shift that I've had in order to encourage and empower others that will be experiencing lupus and its challenges. So with the challenges comes the mindset. So that is the number one thing that you will have to shift in order to manage and live a long, full life with lupus. Is you're going to have to shift your perspective. You just cannot, and I understand the whole toxic quote unquote positivity. And I'm not asking you to be positive all the time. What I'm asking you is to shift your energy and shift your mindset in embracing what you're going through, accepting what you're going through, and be okay that it's not okay. Be okay that it's angry, that you're upset, that you hate or dislike the fact that you are in this position, or you miss the old you. Like, it's all okay. It is a part of the grooming. The grooming that brings you closer to God, that makes you seek him. And what is it that he has brought you to this point, Because one thing I will say is, when I'm in pain and when I'm struggling, God has never left my side. God has never neglected me. He's always protected me. He's always provided for me. And he is and will do the same thing for you. I'm not special and I don't get special privileges. He's all our Father. So we all have access to him in the same ways that I do. It's just all about your mindset and what your perspective is when dealing and coping with lupus. So some of the things that I do are I spend time with my Heavenly Father. I journal, I write, I pray, I plan, because, just waking up and looking forward to the next symptom coming up is just not the way to live. And it's not the way I plan on living. I plan on living a full life with my children. And as long as God is willing, I'm going to act like it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to pray. I'm going to plan out a day of activities, whether that's limited to 1 or 2 things, it doesn't matter. I'm planning for something besides laying in my bed. I'm planning for something besides the next doctor's appointment. I'm planning and organizing my dreams. And this podcast is one of them. And there is more of them, because I refuse to let lupus take everything away from me. And like I said, I've been living with this and managing this for a very long time. And within the last 5 to 6 years has been the time where I have really, really taken it seriously. And I've really shifted my mindset in growing, healing, understanding myself more so than anything else, to be a better me because of my kids. So I just say, prioritize understanding lupus, yourself and your symptoms. And the only way to do and to manage that is you got to write stuff down. The biggest part of my self-care is literally my creative planning. It is a hobby for me. It is therapeutic for me. It is peaceful to me to be able to, again, go open my planner and plan out stuff that I would want to do. Despite lupus, with lupus, it doesn't even, in pain, not in pain, I'm still planning something for my future. And that has sustained me. So a part of the self-care is to care for your own needs in your mind and your spirit, and your body follows along because it's in your mind. So as long as you're mentally checking yourself in and doing what you need to do, you're gonna be all right. I know that, to be honest, this lupus flare that I'm currently in, I'm only feeling better within the last 3 to 4 weeks because I had to shift my mindset. I found myself literally crying, just crying so bad because I was in so much pain. And I was like, what are you crying for? Like, that was the question that went over my head, was, why are you crying? And I'm saying, because I'm in pain, because this hurts so bad. And myself said, self, you can't be over here crying in pain when you are not contributing to not being in pain. Let me run that back so that can make sense. You can't sit here and cry like a baby being in pain when you know you're not advocating and doing every single thing that you need to do in order to feel better. Now, I could cry if I was doing everything I was supposed to do, eating better, drinking water, maintaining my mental health, not stressing. Like, if I was doing the things that reduces some of my symptoms, then I can understand why I would be upset and while I was crying. But I knew I wasn't living right. I know that some of the habits that I had picked up, I'll be honest, I was smoking cigarettes. And that wasn't contributing to me having a better health or better lifestyle. So I was eating beef and, heavy. Like, I was not doing what I was supposed to do. So at that point, I had to check my own self. And I was like, self, you can't be over here crying, being a big old baby, because you can't get to the bathroom, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You do all that and go outside to smoke a cigarette, but you won't do all that and pull yourself together to drink more water, to eat clean, to stop smoking, to mentally be okay. Like, once I checked myself, I did something about it. I stopped completely smoking. I stopped playing around with my health, and I started mentally doing what I needed to do to change things. And that's what it's going to take, okay? It's going to take that lifestyle shift. It's going to take that mental shift. It's just going to. That is the challenge. That is the way to overcome. And it's not easy. It is not. I'm still, pushing past my desires and my old habits to maintain the consistency of feeling better, because I feel good. Like, within the last 3 to 4 weeks, I feel great. Even on an emotional aspect, sometimes physically I'm not 100%, but emotionally I feel good because my desire for change, my desire for not complaining about the pain that I'm in without doing nothing about it has shifted. And I can see the difference. And I feel good about that. So I hope that some of these tips would provide inspiration and support for you to make some of those same mindset shifts and changes, because lifestyle changes is because you have to check yourself first. You have to check and analyze and look at some of the things that you are doing to contribute to these symptoms, to lupus. And be real. If you gotta take a plain notebook and write out what it is that you can do to contribute to a better lifestyle for yourself, do that. Start there. Start just by checking yourself. And then we all can do better and feel better and think better and be better. But we got to check ourselves first. And I know it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. Warriors, that concludes this special episode of Lupus Speaks podcast. If you found this content meaningful, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving a review. And if you would like to follow me and more of my content, go over to www.lupusspeaks.org or follow me at Lupus Speaks on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So remember, you guys, you are not alone. You are not alone. And we can fight this fight together. So stay strong, stay positive, and until next time, peace and be intentional.